Hello. That's doing that thing again. Hello. Hello, everybody. Camera's doing that thing again. I think it's because I'm starting to get sunlight in here. Whatever. Hey, Smork, how's it going? All right, I hope everyone's had a good week so far. Hold on. I'm gonna... it's hardly... Fuck it. I'm not gonna do anything. Okay, anyway. We are about ready to move on to that refugee flotilla. Found another Windows scaling bug. Smork and Windows scaling bugs. Name a more better combo. Those scaling bugs, man. Windows is quite the Frankenstein OS, so it's not surprising. Whoops. Gotta stop breaking the habit. Okay. So, I think we just wanted to finish up this last job with Bliss. I think we just got it, right? Ooh, what is this? Starward Vector Tangled Solar Yacht. All right. So, this has got a time limit on it. All right. An exhausting task. Patching solar sails means maintaining a laser focus for long periods of time, and time is something you don't have. Untangle the sails. The spurs need resetting and the system rebooting, but if you are careful, you can safely untangle some of the sail while you do this. This can undo our progress if we fail it. But it says it's safe, so I guess it's safe for us personally, but not safe for the goal. Solar window. The selected launch window for the Starboard Vector's maiden voyage is closing. It's going to be a tight one. Rigged and ready. Wow, we need a lot of progress in a very limited number of days here. Interesting. The Starboard Vector's experimental sail deployment failed horribly. Now its massive solar sails need to be repaired. All right, so this seems like it's just do this. And if I need the +2s, do this. So I'm going to start with these ones because these ones get our progress faster. You delicately spin the spur, unwinding the sailcloth without it tearing. Bliss thumps you on the arm. She's impressed. These dice not great. Those dice are better. I think we'll be able to get this one out pretty easily, actually. Am I getting paid for this work? I am. I'm making 5 cryo. Oh, from interface actions, that's why. All right, and then I have a 1. I am not going to use that 1 here. We have some number of days left, actually, so... I have no idea what to use a 1 on. I suppose we would use it on... use it on sunbathing. Because we get energy either way. 2 energy. So Smork, tell me about this bug. Tell me about the bug with your Windows scaler. This is for your very small window MMO that you play, right? Feed this stray. Man, I am never gonna get this stray cat to love me. What more do I need to do? Alright, we're gonna head... Oh, we've got these we can buy. We'll buy 2 fragments because they're on the cheap. And then we will build that in the fabricator. And then we'll sell it on the market. I don't really need the cryo at this point in the game, but I have no idea what is actually going to be required once we get to the refugee stuff. So yeah, it's just follow what leads I have available to me. All right, drop a 6 in here. Now, I could drop a 4 in here, which would be a 6. I risk re-rolling this. We have so many days left, though. I'm going to re-roll them. Okay, a 6 and a 3. So I can drop a 6 in here and maybe a 3 in here. And maximizing a borderless window and setting a maximized bound so it doesn't overlap the taskbar. And you're maximizing to a non-scaled monitor. And the main monitor is scaled to 150% or higher. It maximizes too big. Any attempt to account for the increased size leads to some sort of cutoff point where it becomes too small. Sounds like you have a signed integer in there somewhere. Under the hood, like Microsoft has a signed integer somewhere. Because if you roll over to negative, that sounds like a signed bit flipping problem. So, like, I don't know. Why do you need to do that? Because, like, I would, like, reading that, I would just say, well, just run it on a scaled monitor then, right? And don't scale it to 150%. Like, why make it more complicated than it needs to be, right? I need 3. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's do this because I won't get a negative action anyway. Oh, I still need 1 though. I'm not going to put a 1 in there. That's insane. You're not in control of your user's monitor settings, so you need to account for all these scenarios. But do any of your users have that scenario? Because you don't need to account for all scenarios, right? When you're developing software, you just need to account for most of them. Because, like, if you have a user that has that as a bug, then you can decide whether or not it's worth fixing. But if it's only a hypothetical user, then your effort's probably best spent somewhere else. Right, get my energy back from sunbathing actions. Let me... Look at this cat. How many times do I have to feed it? You're OCD in that case? Find bug, need to squash. Is it the only bug you have, though? Because, like, prioritizing your bugs, like your bug fixes, is important too, right? So it's like, yeah, you got tons of them. So, like, well, it's your personal project, right? So that's up to you to decide. Those rolls are awful. That's a little bit better. But yeah, I would definitely... Personally, I would definitely deprioritize that one because it sounds like a very specific, not only a very specific scenario that causes that bug, but it also sounds really difficult to fix. I'm just going to put my... No, you know what? I'm going to put a 4 in here because I don't need that much progress. And then this ship will be fixed. The starboard vector's experimental sail... All right. So you enter a flow state, scanning and fixing. Bliss does the same. You can both do this. You know it. She's right. We did it. The atmosphere in the airlock is euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots. Exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper, that was incredible. She punches you on the arm. I never thought we were going to make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I've ever seen. We make a good team. Bliss smiles a winning smile. As the lock's inner door clunks open, Moritz gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been the one ferrying tools and parts back and forth from the ship. His tired smile tells you he's glad it's done. Sleeper, Bliss, he shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw that ship come in, I thought there was no way. Why, thank you, Morris, she winks, for believing in us. Morris rolls his eyes. You know what I mean. Take the compliment. He shoulders some of the gear that came back in with you and Bliss and heads to the racks to stow it. Bliss turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honors. She nods to the ragged-looking console that Morris assembles. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, but you can see she is genuinely nervous. Check the console. You glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you're doing through the flickering, cracked display, but after a moment, you see the accounts, and there it is. Almost 1,000 cryo sat in the base transfer account. Well, Bliss calls. Have we been screwed again? It's there. Bliss kicks off from the floor and spins up into the bay, shouting as she does. The noise takes Morris by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something. Glinting steel catching the work lights like glitter. Sorry, says Bliss, grinning when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you at the terminal. Moritz even managed to sell that produce. We made a tidy profit, eventually. She laughs. Here. She loads a stack of blank chits into the terminal and transfers a chunk of the cryo to them. This is your cut. Bliss hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. She looks away and smiles, even when I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving up. All it would have taken was one more push, but now this place is sparking again. Work is coming in. There are funds in the accounts. Even Moritz has a spring in his step. You both look over at him, happily racking up the tools. That's because of you. She punches you on the arm. He likes you. He's a good kid. He isn't bad, is he? She leans in closer. You know he came here looking to rob the place? I gave him a job instead. She laughs. Don't tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Moritz turns to look at you, and both Bliss and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. You gonna be okay? Me? Always. She looks away. From here on out, it's going to be a little easier. I'm going to look for some component contracts, stuff that will keep us inside the bay, not out in the black. No need to risk our necks if we don't need to. You want to cash out? That's fine. But there will always be work for you here when you need it. I appreciate it. She smiles and then, out of nowhere, quickly gives you a hug. She steps back and glances around reflexively. Take care, she says softly. You too. You turn to leave. And Sleeper? Yes. She smiles. Don't spend that all at once. Nice. I got quite a decent amount of cryo from that. Alright, Overlook and Sidereal Ticket are the only two left. I have 2 upgrade points. Keep 2 dice even when condition is breaking. I wonder. We'll hold on to those for now. So there is something going on here. Okay, so I can make cryo working here. One last job. Moritz has heard Bliss speaking with someone remotely. Is there another job coming in? Okay, so now I gotta wait for that to tick down on its own. Almost done with Bliss. You know making your app DPI aware fixes it, but WinForms on DPI aware mode is broken too. GUI gets all kinds of messed up when a user uses it on a scaled monitor. Yeah, like, UI scaling is tough stuff. Most games and applications that I use do not even allow UI scaling. They're like, if you have a weirdly scaled monitor, you're unsupported. So I can only imagine that corporate software with full teams of UI developers saying, we're not going to bother with this, is not a good sign. Not a good sign. But it's like, it's also... Oh, she needs spores. That's right. I should go gather some. But there's like a couple... Like that Star Sector game we were playing a little while ago has UI scaling. But it warns you. Like, turning this on may do weird stuff and break your game. And we're warning you. You might not want to do that. Alright, let's get some spores. Let's get some spores in here. Yeah. Alright. Give these spores to Tala at the Overlook so that she can start her distillery. Right? And now Tala wants to wait. Tala's locked herself away in the back room while she focuses on the distilling. She won't let anyone in or out. So 6 days on that clock. And then it's probably not a bad idea to put in some work here. I'm going to get like as many jobs done as I can. So we're close. Pretty close. I have 2 ones, which there's not really a whole lot I can spend ones on. Sunbathing action, I guess, would be one of them. So I may as well do that. May as well use the other one then. And then I'll have recovered all my energy. Alright. Tomorrow I should probably go grab some scrap. Keep my repairs up. Am I not... This cat is never going to be my friend. Feed it every morning and every night. Alright, I gotta go grab some scrap from the wastes. Put a 5 in there. Does this dorm offer me anything other than what I had before? No. Doesn't have a cat. It doesn't have a cat. The labs are for synthesizing stabilizer. The aviary needs 3 spores. The farm stacks are for eating. And buying food. For some reason, I can still collect Girol caps. That must have something to do with Tala's bar's work when she's done that. I put 4s in here. So I'm going to put a couple 4s in here. It's enough to get some spores started in the aviary. Mostly just going to be watching a bunch of timers tick down. Right? Now I gotta wait 4 days for that to tick down. And then I can go do some engineering work because I don't really have anything else to put my dice into. All these timers. So many timers. I have no data. Put that in there too. Okay. Oh, wrong thing. Self-repair. Feed the cat before bed. I just want this cat. Why is it there? Is it there to just take cryo from people like me who just always want to feed the cat? It never gives you anything. It's just like, hey, dump all your money into this fool. That's what it feels like. All right, let's go get a piece of scrap. I might as well repair myself here, I guess. I'm gonna spend money buying food from Memphis because I have more cryo than I do dice. I'd rather just use the cryo. Delicious fungus. And then do more engineering, I guess. This also has a chance of giving me scrap, though. I wonder if I actually have seen that happen. Pays me. Supposed to have a chance of getting scrap from performing engineering actions. I've yet to see it happen. Might as well use this on sunbathing. Feed the cat. Feed this cat. If I feed it like enough a day, maybe it does it. Come on. Ah. Does nothing. It's just taking my cryo. Damn it, cat. I love you. Why won't you let me love you? 3 more days on this? Maybe I should rent one of these capsules. Might as well. I've got the cryo. I can always make a hell of a lot more if I need to. You hand over the chits and get the passkey for capsule 0451. Time to find which of the identical berths is yours. Yeah. Same, just kind of the same thing. Nothing special here. Alright, fair enough. Had to be sure. Okay, let's go get scrap for repairs. Kind of like just banging through this stuff, waiting for these timers to tick down before we go to the do the flotilla thing. I also wonder if ending my day at the dorm or the spacer capsule will start an event. So we'll try doing that as well when we end our day. Oh. That gave me a scrap. Alright, we're done. Your crew slowly filters out of the shipyard locker room, the bubbling chatter reducing with each group that leaves. There is excitement in the air. Havenage just made an announcement. The assembly teams are done. Sat on the locker room bench, you can feel the sidereal out there. Its hulking mass now intimately familiar to you. Over the past cycles, you've watched it grow, be assembled. You've walked through its veins and welded its bones. Now it is ready for the final stage. It will go to testing now, then enter a final process of sealing and resealing, checking and rechecking, before it is deemed suitable for its generational trip. But for now, your work is done. You can't help but feel proud. A cough interrupts your thoughts. It's Lem, changing out of his work gear. Mina, nowhere to be seen. He smiles. She'll be ready soon. Where's Mina? You two are fast friends, huh? She's being watched at home. Now I'm on the work team, I can afford a bit more help. He corrects himself. Was on the work team, I mean. We're all out of a job now. He quickly adds, not that I'm complaining. Lem comes to sit beside you on the bench. She's got to be in her best shape when she carries you, Mina, and me out of here. So confident? Lem smiles apologetically. Why not? I figure I'm due a lucky turn by now. He rubs his hands nervously. No use in wondering what if until the draw anyway, and there's a few cycles till then. Lem is right, but the odds seem unlikely anyway. How many are working in the shipyard? Hundreds? 1,000? You've certainly seen more faces than you can count pass through. And are the Sealess Foundation even going to keep their promise? Out here on the Eye, you get the sense that no one will hold them to it. Why else would they be building the Citadel in a surrogate system? As you think, Lem watches you with a worried look. How's Mina doing? Lem is surprised by the question, but smiles. She's doing well. She misses having you over, actually. I need to get you two together again soon, especially now I won't see you here either. Lem gazes into space. She's pretty stuck on you, actually. She told me the other cycle that she doesn't want to go unless you can come too. He sighs. You ever been in a thunderstorm sleeper? A real big one? I don't remember. Lem shoots you a worried look for a moment. It's something else. He smiles. The sound, the smell, the rain hammering down, the whole sky stretched out and bruised, roaring and huge. The place I was born, New Pembroke, a dry old rock in a Conway system, had 2 seasons. One of them was as dry as bone, dusty, ugly. The other was one long storm, a side effect of the terraforming efforts, they said. Rain used to rattle off the roofs like bullets. It washed the dust away, turned the streets to rivers. It'd sing us to sleep and wake us in the morning. We'd wait half a year just to see it again. The best day was the one where the first drops fell. He sniffs. Some days I wake up swearing I can hear it again. I was thinking, Mina's never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She's grown up here, the ring her only horizon, always in the dark. I want to change that for her. You will. Of course, almost there. Lem stands stretching. Best get back to the little one anyway. With the shifts done, I reckon she'll be happy to have me home for a few cycles. He shoulders his gear. Seen a few for the draw? Good luck. Don't need it. He grins. Lem leaves, making you the last person in the cavernous locker room. As you sit, you think about rain, and a little hope creeps in. Is it possible? Could the sidereal really take you to a planet, a place with weather, with skies, with life? You get up quickly before you can think about it anymore. It's too soon to hope, too dangerous. There's work to be done. Alright. So now we're waiting for this. Sealess are apparently going to start moving the sidereal horizon to the hub soon. Alright, so they're going to move it up to the central hub. Havenage have said it'll be a few cycles until the winners of the draw are announced. You'll have to come back. Alright, so another timer. All these timers. Okay. That leaves us with a 1. Okay, I'm going to feed the cat. Even though I'm not sleeping here, I'm going to go sleep with the Haifa commune and see if anything changes. And then next cycle, I'm going to do the same thing on the spacer pod or whatever. Okay. Might as well repair myself again. Do a sunbathe action. Can I re-roll this one? No, I already re-rolled it. Alright. Well, I think I have slept here now that I click that button, because I think Moritz came and got me once from here. Oh well. Those dice kind of suck. Actually don't need scrap today, do I? Okay. Alright, let's feed the cat. Just feeding this cat, man. Alright. Nothing to do there, or there, or there. Oh, it made progress even just after 1 day. It's now turned on its side. Got like shuttles going to it and stuff. That's pretty cool. Any change up here? Nope, just the empty bay. There's not really anything to do today. Well, I might as well get at least one piece of scrap then. And then, I don't know, sunbathe with this 3 perhaps? That was dumb. Really? Sunbathe with... Damn it. Alright. I have a 1 and a 3. Still nothing in the cloud here. I think I can make some money on tambour. Make 24 cryo maybe? Yeah. And then I guess I can spend my 1 hacking a Yadigan agent. I just want to see this, I want to see some of this stuff. Just waiting. Gonna try to get through these days as quickly as possible here. Okay, and then we'll go and sleep on the hub. Fed the cat today. Though I'm not sure it's actually doing anything. Right. Yeah, might as well repair myself again. No change there. Okay. So it doesn't seem to matter where you sleep. I wonder why the game gives you so many different places to sleep. I wonder if anything can happen in the game that can make one or more of those places not safe for you anymore? I don't know. Alright. Harvest our shrooms. Matsutake. And then I can process some of this for stabilizer. Just gives it to me right away. So much stabilizer. A 6 and a 1. Don't need scrap today. I don't really need scrap with all the stabilizer. Especially since a lot of these days I could just, like, do nothing if I really needed to. Like, there's not really a whole lot that I need. Whoops. Shit. Oh well. Went to sleep with dice. Oh. Alright. Sleeper, long time. Moritz is smiling at you when you leave. Clearly happy to see you again. Moritz, good to see you. Same. He rubs his hands on his jacket. How you been? Working hard. I bet, he grins. Well, you are always welcome to hang at the bay if you want. He glanced around. Actually, that's what I'm here about. I know Bliss said she didn't want to take any more big jobs, but she's changed her mind, or something, he grins, because now we have someone looking for a refit of their ship in our bay. You would not believe it. They want their entire ship disarmed. Cutting out defense arrays, weapon lockers, ship-to-ship countermeasures, the whole lot. He leans in. We'll be able to start an arms dealership with all the hardware we'll have up there when we are done, he laughs. Anyway, it's a massive job and we need some hands. Bliss said to go get you. So come on up. Bliss is waiting on you to accept the job, he pauses. It'll be good to have you up there again, he grins, like old times. Alright. Let's feed the cat. I'm going to eat at Emphasis. Putting emphasis on the wrong syllable. Alright, and then I do need scrap today, so I'm going to go get a piece of scrap before I do this. I don't know what this job means. Put a 5 in here. Okay. And I'll give myself a quick repair. So that I don't click and cycle again by mistake without repairing myself. Alright. Let's go see what Bliss is up to. What has she gotten herself into? Disarming a combat ship. Crazy. I think I recognize that ship. Oh shit. When you enter the bay, it is weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand, and maybe Bliss is prepping the kit? Sleeper. Ankita is drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. It's Ankita. The idea of not seeing Ankita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago, but seeing her without her armor, she seems smaller, less imposing. What are you doing here? I was about to ask you the same thing. She kicks off from the wall and comes a little closer. So what is this, she asks. Come to avenge Ashton or his sleeper, or just looking for another payout? Her anger is familiar, but quieter than before, restrained. I don't want to fight. Then why are you here? She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay entrance, because I've got my best repair tech coming up here especially, and they're going to... Bliss glides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita standing off. Oh, Sleeper, you're already here. Miss Cassetta, this is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, do you two know each other? You and Ankita look at each other. We worked together. Bliss squints at you both before continuing. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you would like to sign our damage waiver here, we can start on the decommissioning. She looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrawls her signature across the slate. Thank you. Bliss pauses. And everything is okay with the special payment terms we discussed? She gives Ankita a strange smile. All fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. Then she kicks off and drifts to the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says, and leaves. Special payment terms? She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What is she so nervous about? This isn't exactly a typical job. Miss Ankita, she gives you a knowing look, doesn't have the chits to pay us, so we've made special arrangements, she sighs. I'm leaving. You're joining a mercenary crew? Don't make me laugh. Ankita's an ex-merc. Why do you think she's getting us to remove all her ship's armaments? Amber. The ship is called Amber. Bliss gives you a funny look. There's some deep history here, huh? She holds up a hand to stop you answering. Look, all I care is that she's heading for the starboard belt. She looks out of the bay. That's where I'm headed. She turns back to face you. Also, I wanted to ask, she stops unsure, if you'd like to come with us. Wow. Oh man, I can't. She interrupts before you answer. I know things have been hard for you on the Eye, and you helped me so much. I asked Ankita if she'd carry two of us, and she said yes. Moritz will take over the bay anyway, although if you stay, you're welcome to help him run it. I just thought, she sighs, you might be in need of a fresh start as much as I am. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyway. The berth is there. We've got to finish the job first anyway. And with that, she kicks away and heads to the racks before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for the disarming of the ambergris. The starboard belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. She's in the gimbal. Huh. So I wonder if she's decided to quit after what happened. To quit being a merc. I hope so. Still though, she needs to directly apologize to me. If that's what she wants. Alright. Oh, the draw. Oh shit. Alright, here we go. The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked alongside on the cider rail. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and a few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, his anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. Robot, she shouts, reaching out to you. Hug her. She gratefully accepts your hug, leaning against your chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. Quite the turnout, huh? Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. I don't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths. The sound of an argument toward the back catches your and Lem's attention. He is putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. This isn't good. Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. This is Aster Anghart of the Sealess Foundation. The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance, and shouts of quiet rapidly follow. I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you, on behalf of Sendra Celis, for the work you have done on the Sidereal Horizon. Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. Sendra wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment to and belief in the Sealess Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the Venerable Havenage Association. Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe Ireland's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new, decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You were all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the Sidereal Horizon will carry, in cryosleep, to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Sealess One. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. There, our citizens will be able to create their own, innovative, bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sendra Celis herself: freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Havenage Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision, the staff of the Sidereal Horizon, who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space. Lem turns to you, his eyes bright. This is it! This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Sealess identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. A murmur runs through the crowd. Sealess identification numbers, licensed contracts. You've never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones like a rising wave. Aster starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what's happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. Lem? You turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina is scared now as the shouts start. Daddy? Someone throws something at the entrance, and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see, for the first time, Havenage security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. It's not happening. Lem blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Aster reading off the ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. This feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. Oh. Fuckers. Fucking corpos, man. They shouldn't have done that while the fucking ship is still docked. Someone's gonna fucking go mental. Goddamn corpo fucks, man. Makes me so fucking mad. There's a note on the door of the unit. Sleeper, gone to find work. Lem. God damn it. Those assholes. I wasn't going to. If I won, I was going to give my spot to Lem and Mina. Because I'm like, I think I'm a... Well, I mean, I don't want to leave for game reasons because I want to go do the thing or whatever, but like, I basically like at home on the station and I don't really care. I've got somewhere to live. I think I'm going to stay with the Haifa commune. I don't know. All right. Talos Bar. Tala comes to you one shift when the bar is empty, tapping you on the shoulder as you clean the bar. It's ready, she's grinning from ear to ear. The Girol? Obviously, she grabs you by the arm before you can ask anything else and drags you into the back room. The smell hits you immediately when you enter, a cocktail of rich fermentation and chemical sharpness. The room is warm and bright now, the newly installed lights making the place look clean, whether it is or not. Tala has already pulled up a couple of stools around a metal crate where 2 glasses with a few fingers of pale Girol sit waiting. She smiles. I haven't even tried it yet. You can see she is nervous. You both sit at the makeshift table, the slight strangeness of the situation making you both jumpy. Tala hands you a glass. Cheers, she says solemnly and knocks the glass back. You do the same. The first sensation is burning. A sharp, nose-clearing blast of alcohol that has your frame querying whether you would like to activate safe mode. You gulp the drink back, and it is only then behind the burn that you taste the earthy tones of the mushrooms, the wood, and the soil left behind like sediment, barely there. That's strong. Tala nods vigorously. Woof, that was heavy. Maybe needs diluting? Tala swills the Girol in her glass. That might work. Open it up a bit. Tala grabs a metal bottle from the newly installed work surface and adds a few drops of water into the Girol. Try again. This time the burn is a warming glow, harsh but fading off, and the woodiness less heavy. You taste something floral in among the marshy decay, something fresh and bright that you never expected to find. Both you and Tala meet eyes. It's really good, right? It is. Tala grins with her whole face, and that makes you smile too. Tala pours out some more Girol, and then adds some more water. The action's already taking on the quality of a ritual. You both drink. Tala tucks her feet up beneath her on the stool, folding her legs. She looks down into her glass and swirls the liquid thoughtfully. What's on your mind? Tala looks up at nothing in particular. My father opened this place, you know, she says out of nowhere, a thought suddenly becoming words. It was his attempt at making a life for us, for my family, when we got to the Eye. You were refugees? From Sinza, yeah, one of Ember's lesser moons. She takes a drink. I don't remember much. I was only tiny when we came. I was just thinking about something my father told me. When he first set this place up, he wanted to call it the Battanian, but he was afraid it'd scare off the customers, so he kind of translated it, hence the Overlook. And these past few cycles, when I've been in here, I've been thinking that I should rename the place. She looks at you. The Battanian. What do you think? What does it mean? Dad said he translated it to Overlook, so something like that. Watchtower, maybe? Lookout? Tala picks up her glass. That settles it then. To the Battanian. You both clink your glasses and drink up. Tala hisses through her teeth. Still harsh. She laughs, then suddenly grabs your shoulder. Oh, sleeper, I totally forgot. She stumbles to her feet. She lurches over to a corner of the room, covered with a plastic sheet, and whips it off, like a magician performing a trick. Beneath it is a neat little kitchen, a sink, a work surface, and a compact oven with a hob. Your kitchen. She doesn't give you time to respond. You can come make stuff here anytime, as long as you promise not to raid the mushroom farm. I need those for the Girol. I was thinking too that if things pick up, we can start serving proper food at the Overlook. I mean the Battanian, she laughs. Do you like it? It's perfect. Tala gives you a hug, then quickly stands back. I'm sorry. I'm so glad you're here, she grins. I think we've had enough. She glances over at the half-empty bottle. Perhaps you're right. As Tala tidies away the glasses, you inspect the kitchen, checking that it all works. It's small and salvaged, but after what you've had to put up with, it feels like a dream come true. Later, when she's done for the day, Tala comes back through to the bar, and you share a glass of the good Girol, the one she didn't distill. And this time you talk about nothing in particular, sharing stories about regulars or discussing the best place to eat on the Eye, which, after everything that has happened, feels like a nice change of pace. When it comes time to leave, you promise to cook for Tala and agree to let her know which shifts you'll be working in the coming cycles, and then slip out into the cool of the rotunda. And in this moment you feel, for once, at home. Yeah. I am home. That's it, isn't it, right? The Eye is my home now. I've made a home here for myself. Alright. So now, I can do bar shifts still. I can also cook matsutake caps. Okay. Matsutake require a softer touch. You've learned to thinly slice and lightly fry them to keep their flavor. And I can also cook Girol caps. You haven't exactly mastered the art of cooking mushrooms, but a couple of handfuls of fried Girols always beat the expired rations. Okay, so I was right. That's where we use the Girols. So now it's like I work in the mushroom farms, and then I go and I take the mushrooms across the station to the Battanion, now called the Battanion, and cook. Like, that's my job. Like, all these points in engineering. I want to... Oh, man. What do I want to do? I don't know what to do with these points yet. I'm tempted to put, like, a 3 in here and then a perk in another one. I don't really have many drives left. I don't have any drives left. Now I'm just waiting for a couple things. I need to find out what's going to happen with Lem and Mina. And the ambergris. Right. And Kita wants it all out. Weapons, countermeasures, torpedoes. It would be a risky job if you didn't know Amber so well. Once this job is ready, you better be ready to make a fast decision. Stay with Morse or go with Ankita and Bliss. I'm going to stay here. It's my home. It is my home. There's lots for me to do here. I have friends here. It's safe for me. And I have stabilizer. Like, the station made stabilizer just for me. Right? Like, it's just for us, that stabilizer. I'm not gonna leave. This is where I belong now. I've made up my mind. Alright. Is there anything going on over here? Aviary has more spores to germinate. Okay, I'm gonna dice, so I can't do anything else anyway. I just want this cat. I just want this cat. I just want this cat to love me. Why won't this cat love me? I want it to be my pet. How often do you have to feed a stray before they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay here? How long? All right. I guess we're gonna go get a piece of scrap for the daily repairs. And then do that last engineering action on the ambergris. I hope that I'm gonna wish Ankita the best. But I'd be like, I can't go with you. Because every time I look at you, I'm gonna remember how you killed that sleeper. Because you were angry. I don't think I can forgive you for that. Working on Amber again is a joy. You know every inch of this hull. After all, you fitted half of it. Amber looks better than she ever has before. Bliss has done an incredible job of cleaning up the hull, and despite the exterior changes being limited, she has the impression of being lighter, somehow sleeker than before. Moritz drifts by. He has been loading up the final equipment onto Amber. Turns out Ankita will be taking her weapons, but packed and ready to sell at the first starboard belt port she hits. But now that Moritz is done, he seems in a kind of daze, floating back and forth aimlessly. You okay, Moritz? What's that? He turns. Oh, right, yeah. Packed and stacked. He smiles a weak smile. Was hoping Miss Cassetta would let me keep a warhead. For what? He shrugs. I don't know. Just might be a cool thing to have around. Hey, Sleeper. He looks down. Did you know Bliss was leaving? You understand now. She told him. That's why he's like this. I did. He nods distractedly. She said this place is mine. He looks up around the bay like it is suddenly some vast space he doesn't know what to do with. You'll do a great job. He looks down at you. Hey, thanks. He smiles. I appreciate you saying that. Not many people believed in me before now. First Bliss, then you. A dark look suddenly crosses his face. Hey, Sleeper, there was something Bliss said. He meets your eye. Are you going too? Before you can answer, Ankita glides into the bay, a massive crate on her shoulder. Sleeper, you coming or what? Bliss is already on board. She stops by the terminal, holding herself in place. Moritz looks at her with a dazed expression. Hey, Mr. B. How's it going? Thanks for coming by, bud. How you doing? I'm in a... It's going pretty well. Extremely narrative-heavy game right now. I've been flexing my my narrator muscles. Just wrapped up work for the day? Oh, man. That's late, huh? Jeez. You look at Ankita. She's keeping it together now. She's packed all those bad feelings down someplace where you'll never see them and built a tough foundation on top. She may not be a mercenary anymore, but you imagine most people would think twice before trying to cross her. Par for the course over the last year? Ew, gross. Is that just like you're working later shifts, or is it just like a lot of overtime? You still work at the place you were working at before, or... Oh, yeah. This game has been great. It's very story-driven. Like a dice-based choose-your-own-adventure game. It's been a lot of fun. It is very narration-heavy, but I haven't minded at all, really. It gives me practice. Oh, you're a senior manager now. Holy moly. Oh, yeah, I think you mentioned that. You got moved up into management. Good for you, man. But, yeah, I guess that comes with the job, though, huh? Sometimes you gotta... get in up to your elbows, I guess, on some of the late projects. Well, I hope that it's paying you well. I hope it's worth it. Either like benefits or pay or career advancement, job satisfaction. Well, she looks at you. I'm not eager to spend another moment of my time on this station unless I have to. She pauses, looking between you and Moritz. She sighs. I'll give you a minute. And she kicks off with the crate, taking it to the end of the bay, where the Amber sits docked. You look back at Moritz. I'm staying. Moritz looks like he might pass out. Sleeper, are you sure? Are you doing this for me? I'm staying for me. Moritz nods. All right then, you're staying. He grins. Ankita comes back across the bay, the final crate stowed. You staying then, Sleeper? I'm staying. She nods. Well, okay then. One less mouth to feed. She pauses. Look, Sleeper, I'm not going to go back over everything that happened, she sighs. I'm trying to put that behind me, but I hope you find what you're looking for here. She smiles and kicks off, gliding to the ambergris and the starboard belt beyond. You both watch in silence as Amber's drives fire up. I guess this is our place now, says Moritz, the weight of everything suddenly hitting him. Your place. He smiles. Okay, but I'll need some help from time to time. You both stay for a while to watch Amber and Bliss and Ankita leave, and then Moritz goes to the racks to finally implement a new organizational system, and you head out, promising to be back to check on things soon. As you glide around the soft curve of the hub, you catch glimpses of the distant stars flickering through the windows. They're beautiful, it's true, but by now you think of them as a distraction. In your time on the Eye, you've realized there's nothing out there waiting for you, no fresh starts and no bright futures, just a whole load of problems you haven't found yet. No, your place is here, among the people you know and the problems you know. You wish Ankita and Bliss the best of luck out in the belt. But as you do, you focus on the Eye, on the vast spinning rim that rotates around its hub, on its buildings and flashing lights, on its people and places. This is your home, and, for now, it contains all the features you need. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel, too. And then credits for the second time. So that's like another choice. So yeah, like gives us a lot of choices because we had credits come up when we picked between the become an AI or stay a person. Oh, Mr. B, you're still a support team, so you're the one that gets to answer all the calls regardless of time of day. Ew. That sucks. Glad I'm enjoying the more narrative stuff. You love a good story game from time to time where you just kind of experience it. Yeah. The story in this game has been very touching, honestly. There's been a couple places where I've gotten a little choked up. It's very good. The music, very subtle music that has been doing a good job matching the mood and the tone. And like we're in like the final part of the main story, or the first episode of story, I guess, because there's a second episode we're about to start. But like the beginning was extremely stressful because you're fighting like a bunch of different clocks and a bunch of different threats, and there were a bunch of like what felt like really critical decisions. And so it gets to this point where you're like, you feel like I feel in this playthrough, like, you know what? I'm happy with the decisions that I made, even though everything didn't work out. But things could have gone way worse. Things could have gone so much worse. Oh, man. All right, so it should put me back on the station, I would hope, because we're not done yet. That's what it did last time. Yeah, okay. So we come back. All right. But, yeah, like, it makes me want to play a couple more times on my own and see, like, if my skill set, especially in the beginning of the game, which is really, really fragile. Like, at the beginning, it's very, like, everything's, like, very fragile. I wonder how different skill set at the early part of the game would drastically alter the course of the rest of the story, right? KB, hey! It's been a while. Welcome in. You love that feeling? Always keeps you coming back for more? Yeah, for sure. Like, it's like, man, I gotta know. I gotta know how different could things have turned out. Because, like, especially since there's all these different avenues, like, Ankita, that mercenary that left on that shuttle, if you haven't been watching the rest of the episodes, she was a mercenary, obviously, and we had, like, this deal. I was fixing her ship. She was, like, going on, like, a quest looking for someone who, like, wronged her that was on the station. And I thought she was just going to, like, confront them and be like, hey, why did you steal the thing? Because we'd fixed up her ship. So it's like, whatever, everything's forgiven, right? But she took advantage of my helpfulness and murdered him. And murdered somebody else. So, like, and then she was like, well, I'm going to pay you for the job like I said I would. And I was like, no. And I just, like, dropped the money in the middle of the station hallway. I'm like, no, I'm not going to take money for this job. And then that was it. And I hadn't seen her for, like, months, like a month in the game. So it's like, things could have gone completely differently. I had an option to actually go in ahead before calling her when I found that person. And so I could have potentially saved their life. But it's like, you don't know these things until... So it, like, seems like there's a lot of branching story, and it's nice and hidden. The one thing I really like about this game over, say, like Fallout or something, is like Fallout 3 and 4 and stuff. They show you the other dialogue options, even if they're blocked off. So you know what the other path is going to kind of lead to, right? But in this one, I think there's a lot of skill checks behind the scenes they don't show you too. So it's like, you don't know. I don't know. Is the way that I did it, yeah, it turned out badly, but could it have turned out even worse if I did it another way? There's no guarantee that it could have been any better. So it's just really well done. There's a second game too, Citizen Sleeper 2, and they also made another game not in this series before this one that's also kind of story-based that I'm going to eventually check out all of them. It's surprisingly good. Single developer studio made this game too. All right. Next round is yours. Moritz arrives at the table with a couple of steel drink canisters, typical of the hub's only bar, the Gimbal Lounge. He settles into the webbing beside the table and clunks them down onto the magnetic table. This place, you have decided, is ridiculous. A rapidly spinning, cavernous sphere, the gimbal's weak gravity, just like the gravity at the eye's rim, is created by its gut-wrenching rotation. The interior surface of the sphere is the gimbal's floor, which descends towards the equator where one long bar loops around the entire circumference. Tumbling out from that central ring are an array of booths and seating arrangements, equipped with all kinds of harnesses and webbing to keep customers in place. Those harnesses are there because the gimbal doesn't quite spin up fast enough, and you watch as the clientele bounce towards the bar in lazy arcs, or shift from table to table with graceful leaps. What are you thinking? Asked Moritz, noticing you staring out into the gimbal. KB, interesting. I love Fallout and other games in that vein, but you make a compelling point you'll definitely have to play. Yeah, like I love the Fallout games too. I'm a huge fan of the first two, and I've actually been thinking about going back and doing a play on stream, but it's just a nice change of pace, right? To have some of that, it really adds to the tension, especially in the early game where there's all the other time pressure, not knowing the other choices. Yeah, for sure. It definitely adds to the experience, because I was like sweating at some of those choices. I'm like, oh God, I'm like fretting, because there's also luck involved, because you roll dice at the beginning of every day to spend on actions. So sometimes you're like, I'm torn. I want to complete both these goals, but I can't because I don't have a good dice for it today. So it's like I have to choose, and it like makes you prioritize, and things fail. Other things, like situations, accelerate before you can intervene. Spider-Man syndrome. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Spider-Man syndrome. The impossible choice. That's my best Green Goblin voice. What am I thinking? How weird this place is. Moritz glances around as if for the first time. Yeah, Bliss never used to like coming here. Moritz takes a drink and stretches. So, Sleeper, you sticking around? If you'll have me. Moritz nods. Of course. I'm going to need help in the bay. Moritz rubs the back of his head. One cycle at a time. That's how we'll take it. Nice and easy. You aren't sure if he's talking to himself or you. We'll make it. He lifts his drink for a toast. To the next cycle, he pronounces, and knocks it back. Later, when you finally leave the gimbal, Moritz is still laughing. You help him out of the spinning gimbal and back into the hub, sending him on his way home to the bay. Then you pause for a moment to watch the stars as they spin and spin around the eye. You smile to yourself and think of Bliss and Ankita out there somewhere among those points of light. To the next cycle. Alright. So I'm assuming we have like a repeatable job here, like another way to make money. 20 cryo with engineering. The bay is taking on low-scale repair contracts now. Moritz is happy to offload some of the work to you, so it's another place to make money. The station is basically just a bunch of ways to make money. now that we've handled like most of the pressing stuff. So, I don't know what's going on with this. This ship is going to be ready, but I didn't get a ticket on it. Lem is going to be ready in the same amount of time. Oh, so that's another one. Don't know how that's going to work out. Corporation. If you're just joining us, the corporation that owns this colony ship, me and a friend were one of many who worked on this ship, and we took jobs on it and were entered into a lottery for a ticket on the colony ship as its operating crew. It's like a job, like a permanent full-time job where they feed you, it's safe, right? I wasn't planning on leaving on it. I was going to, if I won, gave my ticket to my friend Lem and his kid, only at the lottery for them to basically announce that none of us qualified for the lottery due to some fucking legal bullshit loophole. And everyone started flipping out, and there was like this riot breaking out, and I tried to get my friend and his kid. I got my friend and his kid out of there before shit hit the fan. But they just fucked over everyone, so I don't know what's going to happen there. There were like hundreds and hundreds of workers that got fucked. We'll see. Alright, I'm going to do a repair action on myself. Don't click end cycle. Reroll my dice. I think I can probably pull off a piece of scrap. I don't need to gather a piece of scrap today. Can wait till tomorrow. Trying to think. There's nothing that I need to do right now. I'm just waiting for a couple timers to tick down. I'm gonna forage for some spores, I guess. And we can grow those spores here in the aviary. I have like all this stabilizer, and I'm not even using it because I'm maintaining my body using scrap every day right now. And I suppose I could sunbathe. Not for pleasure, but for photosynthesis. Well, one's better than none, I guess. And I have a 3. I don't know what to spend it on. I'm curious about why Castor's table is still open all this time. Because he just, like, he seems like he's a mysterious character. Maybe he's tied in with the other thing. Alright. We're going to wait 2 days for Lem's thing. I want to figure out what's going on with Lem before we go to the refugee flotilla. So, and the refugee flotilla is going to start the story expansion. So that's like the one story expansion they did on this game. Alright, I've got a 3 to spend something. Play Tavla, I guess. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that. I am going to go work on Moritz's engineering bay now, because engineering actions give me a chance of giving me scrap when I do them. In addition to the cryo I get paid. And I did. Gave me scrap. Perfect. Alright. I'm going to feed this cat. Why won't this cat be my friend? Why does it just let me feed the cat? Why does it let me do this? Is there any way that I get a positive outcome instead of a neutral outcome from this, and then it's like the cat loves you now? I just want the cat to love me. Fine. Damn cat. Just accept my love, damn it. Good dice. Too bad I don't really have anything important needs to be done. I'm going to try cooking and see what that does for me. I'm assuming it feeds me? Yes. Okay. So now I can feed myself by working in the greenway. So I can feed myself by working in the greenway for mushrooms, or I can use dice. I'm like very self-sufficient right now, so like there's not really any pressure on me. I can repair myself with a single piece of scrap to keep my body in stable condition. I'm also growing mushrooms that gives me stabilizer vials. I'm kind of set. Alright. So I'm going to... Frig. What am I going to do? I don't know. I'm just waiting one more day to see what happens with Lem. So I'm going to go up here and drop a bunch of dice on engineering, because it gives me cryo and possibly scrap. Cryo. Cryo. Give me a piece of scrap, please. There we go. And then I'll use a 3 on here, too. Alright. Okay. So now, tomorrow, we're going to find out what's going on both with Lem and with this ship. I wonder if someone's going to blow it up. One of those... There are a lot of people that know that ship, that built that ship from nothing, that are very familiar with it. That was really stupid of them. Really stupid. I just want to buy your love. I want to buy your love, cat. Okay. See what happens tomorrow. Shit hits the fan. Smork, after tinkering with the designer, seems all you really need for DPI aware mode to not mess up is to write a custom checkbox and a text box class. That's not too much work. Those are pretty simple controls. You should be able to customize those controls. Shouldn't be too bad. 55155. Okay. So the ship's gone. It moved up to the hub probably, which is up here, but we're going to talk to Lem first. There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door is open. You push the door and find Mina sitting in the middle of the floor playing with Bun Bun. Hi, Mina. Hi, robot, says Mina sullenly, waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. Where's Daddy? Mina doesn't respond. She walks Bun Bun across the floor, narrating quietly to herself. You look around the unit. It is a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side, some of Mina's clothes piled up in a corner. Mina's sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor. Her drawing slate cracked and dark. Tidy up. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes in the auto wash and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You've just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper, what are you... He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps into the couch. Everything okay? Lem lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now too? Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. Help! Unless you have a sidereal ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the cruise. Turns out only long-time Havenage members were issued those Sealess ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. Havenage say they didn't know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Sealess pulled the wool over their eyes. But what does it matter? All those hours in the yards for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams his hand down on the sofa. That can't be it. Well, it is. He looks at the open door again. They're moving the Citadel up to the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where it'll depart from. They're bringing a ship with all their cryosleep pioneers and transferring them up there in microgravity before loading the crew. We could steal a ticket. Lem laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. Just those ID numbers, coded as someone's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time, he sighs. We had our hearts set on that trip is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. What if I got you on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I missed that optimism. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around? Be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here. And I'm sure the Sidereal will bring in a crowd, but be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find any way on board, you take it. You need help to get there? Ask me. But for now, me and Meanie here are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way, for us all. Lem smiles but doesn't say anything. You stand to leave and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. Then you're out. Back into the walkways at the low end, already thinking of plans to make this right. I am friends with some of those sentiences on the station. I'm wondering if there's something that I can hack. One last favor from Navigator. We haven't seen Navigator in a very long time. Navigator owes us a favor, maybe. Anything... Nothing in the cloud. Okay, where is it? There it is, right here. The Sidereal Horizon Dock. Scout the dock. The Sidereal is being loaded and prepped among all the commotion. Is it possible to find a way on board? You hope against hope that there's a chink in the Sidereal Horizon's vast armor. Okay, well, I mean, I have good dice for this. Before I complete that action, I wonder if there's someone, like, in the bar? No. Anything going on with Bliss? It's not Bliss's Bay anymore. It should say Moritz's Bay. Moritz's Bay. Castor! There's Castor. Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sender Silas must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately and turn to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? I see you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Tavla a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform, the telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanying his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Havenage shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. I was there. I know, he sighs, meeting your eye. An ugly business. Silas are too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out at the sider-rail. You know why they built this monstrosity on the eye? Control. Certainly. There is no corporate oversight out here, but that's not all. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Silas built it here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. Turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak, sleeping people, locked in cryo-sleep like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Silas wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You're like me, you deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you on that ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need whenever I need it, as long as you're on board. With you on the side rail, and with some minor modifications, he pauses. You can be my eyes and ears. I will keep track of Silas's grand project through you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you aboard, Sleeper, but I'm going to need you to help me. Who are you? I'm a concerned party, someone who likes to know what's happening when it is happening, not afterwards. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem. That can be arranged. It's difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the cider rail. It's a simple offer, and the only one that will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance. As I said, there's a Silas Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Silas aren't stupid, though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You'll need to get on board if you want access to their air-walled servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news, he smiles. I noticed his importance to you, and the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the sidereal horizon leaves the hub? Then I will get the message. We have other options, but you are certainly my preferred one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper. Once you take the data from Silas, you'll set off a series of events that will likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. There are only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the sidereal horizon and the part it may play in your future. I'm not getting on this fucking ship. Castor has offered a second chance. If you cooperate, perhaps you could be leaving on the sidereal horizon after all. I'm not going to be fucking used again. Right? This is another guy wanting to use me like I'm some kind of fucking tool. And I'm not going to do that. I don't know what the hell is on that ship. I don't really trust Castor because I don't know him. I sold him some data like 1 time, 2 times. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's working for another corporation because there's lots of them on this ship. Yeah, I don't feel great about that, honestly. It's an interesting dilemma. Does this force my hand? Because I don't want to leave on this ship. I suppose I can just see for myself, right? Maybe. Critical action. Bluff past security. Fastest way to get to know the ship is pretending to work there. A plan so bold it might even work. That immediately fails if I fail, but I won't fail with a 5. You convince the guards to help you look for your ID inside the ship before you remember you left it at home. And And a 2, this is too risky to put a 2 on. Patrol patterns, security information, server room locations. You need to case this place bit by bit. If security get wise to the potential breach, the sealess ship will go into lockdown for several cycles. Careful observation and an instinct for security procedures will help you to understand how to sneak on board. Alright. I mean, I'm going to maybe get as much data as I can, and then we'll see what we're dealing with. But in general, I don't like that. I don't like that. But it does have a time pressure, so maybe I have to do it anyway. I don't know. Foraging for fungus is risky no matter what I do. I just have a 2. Just have a lone 2. Which I can use to sunbathe, I suppose. I have nothing else to really use it on. Prepare myself. Feed the kitty. Give me the kitty. Why? I must have put 100 cryo into this cat. Why would they put this option? This option was for people like me to waste all of my cryo on it. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing when they added that option. There's going to be a small percentage of players who are going to dump every last cryo into feeding this stray cat in the hopes that it becomes their pet. Gah. As soon as I did, they were like, gotcha. Got another one. All right. I'm just going to buy this stuff because it's cheap. I spent all that time figuring out how to haggle it down, so. All right. Let's do another hacking action here, I guess. What are we doing? Put 4s in here. I can probably get away with the 3 on the last one. Yes. Okay, now the servers are available. Secure sealess data. You're in. Maybe if you do this right, you might be able to pull something more than just IDs. It's a critical action, so I do it one time, and it gives me 53 cryo and sealess data. Okay. We are going to do that momentarily because we have an ad about to start, and I don't know what kind of storm this is going to fucking start. I don't really want to escape on the side rail, but I want Lem to be able to escape on the side rail. Or maybe I don't. Maybe we're dodging a bullet here. Maybe this isn't a blessing for him. But if I get the data, maybe at least I'll know what's going on. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to hack it. I'm going to hack it when we get back. Okay. So I'm going to step away for a few minutes here. I will be back. All right. I'm back. Thanks for waiting, everyone. Okay. I wasn't expecting something so stressful to happen right at the end here. Frick. All right. We're going to hack it. Hack this thing. See what it does. Oh, that's way worse. I fucking biffed it. I haven't. That's okay. I have like a number of days to get this done. Oh, those dice suck. I blew it. Okay, well. That sucks. I'll sunbathe, I guess. I can also steal... I can use the low dice to steal data. So most of the hacking actions require low dice. So you kind of have like something to do even if you have shitty rolls. Sometimes you need low dice, sometimes you need high dice, depending on what kind of time pressure you're under for what type of task. Alright. So now I can sell the Yatigan data to Havenage, and the Havenage data to Yatigan. Playing both sides. Okay. Let's hope for like a 5 or 6 tomorrow. That's what I want. Cat. God damn this cat. I have a problem. Okay, I've got a 5. Oh, first let's buy some scrap from the salvagers. We can get it on the cheap. And if we get lucky, sometimes they give us a ship mine fragment. Not today. We already bought everything from these. Alright. Okay. You find the data, but sitting right beside it, there is a cache of cryo. You take both. Too easy. The data is extracted. Unassigned Sealess IDs. Golden tickets for the Cyterail. See, now... Man, I don't... When you arrive at Lemon Mina's unit, Castor's already waiting outside, leaning beside the door. Forgive me, Sleeper, but Sealess is already buzzing with news of the breach. I was expecting you. I don't like you tracking me. That is unfortunate, Sleeper, because that is exactly what I will be doing for the foreseeable future. Castor reaches into a pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. The data, please. What is that? Something I acquired from Sealess while you were busy on that ship. Castor pushes up his glasses. I haven't been waiting for you the entire time. You hand over a drive with the data, and Castor fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. He slots it into the terminal, and after some whirring, a set of 2 transparent films, marked with numeric sequences, are produced. 2 tickets to an uncertain future, Castor smiles to himself. The child will go with Lem, of course. He pockets them. These are yours, but first, he holds out a white cube. Your side of the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. He passes you the square, and you rest it in your palm, a small, white, perfect cube. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hand and rattles along the walkway. You look at Castor apologetically. Castor smiles. Not to worry. It has done its job. I don't like this. Now it is for you to do yours. You look down and see a tiny pinprick in the center of your palm. Nothing sinister. Castor puts a terminal away. This way we can keep track of you in the sidereal horizon. I didn't agree to this. You did, Sleeper. Castor adjusts his glasses. You have to understand that I could have done this without you knowing. This way everything is on the table, so to speak. Castor hands you the transparent films, and you see shimmering portraits of you and Lem flickering beneath the surface. Go. Give them the good news, and he reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides open the door, half-dressed in his gear. Sleeper, what brings you up here? Come in. He beckons you inside. You look to the side expecting to see Castor, but the wall is empty. The unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits at the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. Mina's with some of the local kids. Someone has started doing lessons down the way. She seems to like it. Stand. Lem looks concerned. What's up, Sleeper? I have some news. Out with it then, Lem laughs. Rethink things. You look around the unit, you look at Lem. He looks better, softer, more full of life. It's as if a weight has been lifted from his shoulders. You think of Mina a few units down, learning with other children. You falter. Is the sidereal horizon better than this? Lem starts to look a little nervous. You in trouble? Debt? Nothing. Forget it. You sure are acting funny. Lem squints at you. Are you sure nothing's up? I'm good. Just tired. I hear you. Lem nods. Been taking shifts moving freight at the midline. Hard work, but makes use of my Conway drone training. He pats you on the shoulder. He continues, but you barely hear him. What is holding you back? It is now or never. Will you leave together, or are you better off on the eye? Destroy the IDs. You make a decision. Lem and Mina are better off here. You are better off here. Castor can go hang. Lem notices you aren't listening and stops. Fancy staying until Mina gets home? She'd be thrilled to see you. Sure. It's not long until the sidereal leaves, you know? I was thinking of taking Mina to see it off when it does. What do you think? Are you sure? I think so. It still hurts, but the way I see it, you can't hide from these things. Lem looks across the tiny unit, holding on. That's all we can do, right? Just hold on a little. He turns to you and smiles. The buzzer goes. That'll be her. Lem gets up and opens the door, and Mina, a bundle of energy and life, rushes into the room. Robot, she shouts. I learned how to draw a tree today, Lem laughs. Show me. Mina suddenly grabs her slate, now half obscured by shiny black tape, and brings it over. I never even saw a tree, says Mina, but Esther showed me. She starts with a line. Then she draws a V, splitting it in two directions. Then she splits those lines again. She keeps doing this, keeps splitting and splitting the lines until before long the whole slate is filled with branches. She sets it down proudly and hands you the pen. Your turn, she says. And a while later, when you leave, you don't even think to check for Castor by the door until it's too late. You stop and turn halfway down the walkway, but there's nothing there. Even that little white cube is gone. You stop and take out the two films, the faces, yours and Lem's, staring out from them like figures encased in ice. How did Castor even get these images? A rush of anger runs through you and you crumple them in your hand. You let the films drop and they bounce once, twice, then fall through the grill of the walkway into darkness, the future leaving as easily as it arrived. You pause for a moment. There doesn't seem to be anything else to be done, so you keep walking, back through the low end, deep in thought. I had to. It was a bad call. There's something... I don't like it. Whatever's going on with this ship, I don't like it. I don't like the secretiveness. I don't like that they friggin' did something to my body. It's just more corporo spy shit. People not fucking treating me like a person because I'm emulated. Fuck all of these people. Fuck them. Now we gotta wait to see what happens with that. But in the meantime, I think we're gonna go and kick off. It's been like an hour and a half. We haven't even started this thing yet. Okay. We are gonna kick off the story quest here. Oh, needs 2 Gerol caps. I can get Gerol caps. That's easy. Right here. Boom, done. All right. Start action. Okay, be aware that it is intended for late game play. We are definitely in the late game. Ash sees you coming up the broken spoke and waves you into the cavernous bay of the Climbing Briar. You came, Peak smiles as you walk into the Climbing Briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Ash. They brought mushrooms. Ash tosses the mushroom caps onto a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick one up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Yes. Peak turns the cap over in their fingers before putting it down. We're not so used to fresh produce. Ash is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? The installation we grew up on. Ash wipes off her hands on a rag. XPR loves to name their property after natural things, but that's about as far as the relationship with planet life goes. XPR? Is this an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all you need to know. Ash leans back against the crate she was securing. We are going to need more than a few mushrooms if we want to help those refugees, though. What do they need? Food, water, components, a whole lot of things. Ash stands and walks over the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can't you speak to Havenage? We aren't exactly welcome guests, Peak explains. If anyone figures out that we came in with the refugee ships, we'll be quarantined as well. Why is there a quarantine? Peak jumps in. The Eye has a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. Ash scoffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? Peak turns. We're being realistic, Ash. But these people aren't an increased strain, they're living people. Ash stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. Ash just slides the container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo hold's racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got a lot of space to fill in this hold, so if you're going to help... I think Ash is trying to say we need your help, and quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies done in the next 12 cycles, or... Ash steps forward. Or Havenage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. What can I do? There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Ash gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peak raises her eyebrows. Ash, she ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access... Not more stealing, Esha, Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short timescales. And the repair components, Peak asks tentatively. Esha smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure the Sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. We get everything before time runs out, perfect. We get most of it, also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how will you get through? Ash shoulders a container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious? Esha, I know we said we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously, Esha. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not, Esha looks at you. But they might. They slipped out from an SNARP facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You are always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. Peak glances between the two of you. I swear to... They sigh. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Esha meets your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies. Discreetly, she smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Havenage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is over for all of us. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the Eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. Esha goes back to the hold to start packing another container. Pete, come help me. Pete glances back at her. Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You're welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We are in this together. Peek, Ash shouts as they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the eye's ring, where Havanage's cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? What am I getting myself into? Peak asks you to meet them at the cordon. You hope they have a plan to cross, because this place seems imposing. Alright. Briar Base Camp. This is just another place to sleep. Alright, what do they need? Scraps for the flotilla. One of the 3 things the flotilla needs are components for repairs. There's a lot of ships, which means a lot of scrap components. So I can dump scrap into this. I should dump scrap. I have to save up 8 and dump it in all at once. Briar's Hold. The flotilla needs food, water, and components. You might not be able to get all of them, but Escher will take what you can get. All the supplies in the world are nothing without a plan to get them to the flotilla. That's Peak's part in this. The clock is running. In 12 cycles, Escher will make her run to the flotilla. The better prepared she is, the better the result will be. Okay. Okay. So they want scrap first. I have 3. I can start farming for scrap in the wastes. And I can just dip into my stabilizer. Reservoir S3. Oh my goodness. Siphon water. Algae stack. Negotiate access. The algae stack is controlled by a small collective of farmers. If you want to use it, you'll need to persuade them. The reservoir is monitored by a web of sensors. Hacking them will reduce the alert level of the system and keep you from getting locked out.
That's great.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why do they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
Oh yeah, Smork, that was a while ago. Yeah, the ad was like 20 or so minutes ago. If you didn't get one, then yeah, you didn't get one. Sometimes Twitch doesn't always roll them. I don't know. It's different. I have it set to roll a 2-minute ad, I think. Or a 3-minute ad. Sometimes it only rolls 1 minute. Sometimes it only rolls 30 seconds. I don't know. It has a mind of its own. So, hacking their sensors reduces their alert level. The only way for Esh to get enough water together is to siphon it directly. Havanage will not be pleased. Esh needs tanks and tanks of water if she hopes to help the flotilla. Anything less is worthless to her. Okay. Ooh, boy. Alright, I'm going to inject some stabilizer here. And we'll end the cycle. I don't like this. Stealing from the station. Those are good dice for scrap, though. I only need 3 more. 1... 2, 3, hopefully this is positive. Awesome. Okay, that's the 8 scrap they need. Okay. You look over the pile of scrap components lying in the briar. You look around, the bay is empty. Esha and Peak either elsewhere on the station or on the bridge a couple of levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find, but before long you get into the rhythm of sorting. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the dark corners of the bay. The briar is in surprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne and XPR must have been operating it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs, polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. Esha loves this ship, that much is clear. Something catches your eye in one of the dark corners, a matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. They're sleek and compact, tucked away behind some of the bigger, more worn containers. Investigate. You put the components away and go over to the sleek crates. You run your hands across their textured surface, but there is little hint of what lies in the opaque metal casing. Then you see it, a yellow symbol, embossed onto the far side of the crate, a universal sigil used by spacers, corporations, and manufacturers alike. It's one you've seen throughout your time as a sleeper, its meaning all too familiar: explosive contents. You hear a hiss, and Esha comes up through the bay's lock. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper. She busies herself with some task at the back of the bay. Ask about the crates. Esha doesn't turn around from whatever she's busy with. Just more supplies, Sleeper, like everything else here. You can't think of anything else to ask, but sense that the atmosphere is now somehow shifted. You quickly finish up the sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her, back as you do. Oh, God. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Alright. Also, Castor's probably gonna... I might have some blowback to deal with from that. Alright. I should probably close these drives. I don't need them open right now. I have 3 points. Should I put it in interface? I don't know. Alright, let's negotiate for algae. Talk to the farmers about the refugees, about the need for supplies, and a few come around to the idea. Okay, let me try getting something better. That is better. You and Esha roll up your sleeves and help with tank cycling. As you do, you speak to the farmers about the refugees. Okay, and that's it for dice. Now, I don't need to go all the way back to the low-end apartment, but I'm going to because I want to feed this cat. Please. I bought you so many crackers. Why? I just want this cat to love me. Alright. Oh. As you leave, you find a note pinned on the outside of the door. It reads, Sleeper. There's something you need to see. Meet me at the cordon as soon as you can. Just keep heading around the ring until you hit the flotilla. I'll be waiting. Peek. You pocket the note and glance around the corridor. Looks like you're doing this. Time to make a plan. Alright. Alright, I should eat, so I'm going to stop by Emphasis and buy something to eat. Because I definitely can afford it right now. I have a lot of cryo, that is for sure. I've been working hard on this damn station. I think I invested 100 cryo in Bliss's thing, and I got like 400, 300 back, something like that. It's not bad. Okay, Peek. Sleeper. Peek catches your attention from the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? None. Good to hear. Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to your nearby window, which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Havenage Cordon. The cordon's temporary structures, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black, and all around the tugs flit, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peek interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Use one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cordon, Peak squints at the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Peak turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. Esha's really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Why are you helping the flotilla? Peak looks up. You don't think it's a worthy cause? They pause. We ran into them when we escaped Hawthorne. Esha insisted we investigate their distress signal. I'm not saying we shouldn't have. Peak stares out the window at the distant blinking lights of their arrived ships. It's just... Peak brushes back their hair. Forget it. Let's just focus on the plan. They flash you an easy smile. It doesn't matter why. We're the ones who are going to help them. The way I see it, there are 3 parts to making it through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking we're meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work. Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon's scanning and deterrent systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get her ready? Esh surely wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. How does that sound? Risky. Well, they smile. Yes, there's always going to be risk. That's how this works. You've got to be on board with that. Peak looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out of the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather supplies and to prep this plan. It's tight. Stay silent. Peak looks at you. If this goes wrong... Peak sighs. Just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Esh anywhere, but you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. Peak brightens up a little, of course, but just keep it in mind. Let's get to it, Peak stretches. I'll tell Esh about the improvements to the Briar, and the rest... Let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper, but I'm very glad they did. The implied but is that Esha may resort to violence. Fuck. What have I got myself into? Blend in with a crew. I don't know my glasses. One thing about being a sleeper is people always assume you're working, so blending in with a tug crew shouldn't be too tough. Or intercept comms. The cordon buzzes with radio transmissions and data packets. Intercepting them will help give you a sense of how things run here. We need cordon intel. You and Peak need to get a sense of how the Havenage operation works before you can prepare your plan to slip through it. Okay. That doesn't necessarily have time pressure, I guess. Something does. Okay, there's 10 days left. I have to finish negotiating algae access. Please give me a positive action. God damn bastards. Well, better to get it on the end than not. Now they need algae growth. The algae in the stack grows at a regular rate, but with some careful feed adjustments and water cycling, you can improve your yield per cycle. Give me a good die. Yes. Okay. I need to... Oh my god. They're not fucking around. This takes a lot of goddamn dice, man. I will sacrifice one condition. Please be good. 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 Okay, neutral. I'll take neutral. That was a 1. And I got a random scrap. I'll take it. Now I have to go and feed my cat. And at some point, something's going to happen with this ship. Maybe Lem will be mad at me. But it's like, buddy, they wanted to, like, turn me into a friggin' spy slave thing. Like, I wasn't okay with that. This isn't just about you. We can make life happen on this station, like I have been doing. we can do this. Okay. Oh man, there's a lot of time pressure here. All right, I'm gonna let that algae just work on itself for now. Siphon water. Okay. If I can... There's 9 days left. I might be doing okay. Smark, you're still debating buying an AMD RX 9070? Money is a bit tight since you have a move coming up with your building scheduled for demolition. You're living in a building currently that has been scheduled for demolition. I love you just like, oh, because I have to move because the building I'm in is going to be demolished. Like, you say that like it's nothing. I've never heard of someone having to move. Why is it being demolished? That's wild. It's just being demolished. They say it's like super unsafe and nobody should be living in it or something. I don't know. I wasn't really listening. One of the oldest apartment blocks in your city? How old is old? You live in the old world, so that could mean anything. Like 100 years old? Like 300 years old? Just 50 years old? Like, what do they consider old over there? Built in the 60s? That's it? Why are they... That's wild to me. There are definitely apartments in my city built in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s that they don't demolish. Is there something wrong with it? Are they out of land to develop in your city, so they're demolishing older buildings to make room for new ones? That's wild. Here it's not good. We just spread. Our cities just spread and spread and spread and spread. The city I live in now is like in an uninterrupted line of cities, just all interconnected all the way around the Great Lakes. Like there's no break. If you didn't know that if you're driving along the highway through these cities, you would have no way of actually knowing that you were moving from one city to another because there's no break. They've all just grown into each other. So maybe that's not for the best. But that just seems crazy to me. Only the 60s. It's not like the 1560s. That doesn't seem that old to me. That was after my parents were born. All right. Let's just keep siphoning water, I guess. You find an outlet valve behind a web of sensors. Delicately, you begin filling a tank. Ash gives you a thumbs up. This is working. Okay. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Ash is double-checking the seals on the water tanks loaded onto the motorized trolley. Though you're far enough away from any thoroughfares to not worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. How will you get these to the Briar? Ash glanced back at you. We'll trolley these up to a bay further along, and then we'll bring in the Briar for a quick and quiet collection. Speaking of quiet, she gives you a look and then looks pointedly back down the corridor toward the reservoir before hitting the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide service corridor with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt it gets used by Havenage, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Esha, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey go a little easier. How'd you meet Peak? Esha pauses, a little surprised by your question. She glances back down the tunnel, but in this deserted passage she can hardly keep up the pretense of silence. We grew up together, she answers quickly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you are expecting her to add more. She seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but trying instead to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administrators keep a tight hold of everything. She rolls her eyes, even though they are trapped in the same decaying installation as everyone else. Peak, she pauses. Peak found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Ash's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. Peak isn't the most practical of people. They used to be, well, they needed someone to teach them to look after themselves, stand up for themselves. That was me, she smiles. After that, I couldn't get rid of them. Esha stops talking, but you see her eyes have lit up, and you imagine she's recalling some moment or other from her and Peak's past. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you're done, Esha turns to you. I'm good from here, head back. And with that, she's gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go, and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Esha's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Smorky Abada has its problems. This December it was raining inside your apartment because 2 or 3 floors up had sprung a leak. Ugh. It sounds like... Yeah, that doesn't sound good, I guess. If an apartment 3 floors up has a leak and it goes 3 floors down into your apartment, that is definitely a problem. I'll say that much. Alright. So now we have to harvest this algae. Ah. I see how this works. I harvest it as it grows. Interesting. Is there an engineering action that I can do up here? There isn't. Because I also need to get intel. Oh man, there's a lot of things to juggle. Okay. I'm going to repair myself with a scrap here. And do some sunbathing. And then... Was this... This action was an interface action, I think? It is. Okay, it might be worth... Alright, I'm going to do that. Okay, there we go. I don't know if we'll get 2 more points to get one of these, but hard to kill will be my next pick. If we can. We might. We have drives. I just don't know if we'll complete them. Alright, I'm just going to sleep here. Start fucking cat. This damn cat. I'm very, very tempted to look this up to find out if you can actually make friends with a cat. Those dice are not great. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, how much time is left on the timer for the... Oh, it's tomorrow. Alright. Okay. Let's harvest some algae. I would like to spend that for... Just not there. It's... Yes, I will spend it here now that that's a 6. Okay, and re-roll these. 4 and a 3. Spend a 3 here, maybe? Okay, that's good. I'm making good progress on all this stuff. I'm only halfway done, but tomorrow something's going to happen with the colony ship, and I don't know what that's going to end up doing. Okay, that's okay. And we'll... Wow, it definitely wants all of our dice. And yeah, no joke. It does not like wasting dice. Having wasted dice, so it definitely is a late game thing that you want to be doing, because there's a lot of time pressure here. Just please, cat. Okay. Now we have to find out what happens with the friggin' colony ship today. Oh, and my condition dropped. Okay, I should eat. You never know when something bad happens that's gonna sap your energy. I have downgraded to flickering condition. It's actually the whole game I raced towards self-sufficiency in my skill tree, so I've never dropped below flickering. Alright, Lem and Mina. There is a crowd, but you spot Lem and Mina immediately as you enter the dock. They're anchored, like everyone else, along the viewing platform, watching the final stages of the Sidereal Horizon's loading and preparation. Lem? He turns and searches nervously through the faces to see who called. Then he spots you and a weak smile passes across his face. You move up and join him on the platform. We decided to come watch in the end. He nods at a sleepy-looking Mina whose bright eyes are locked on the yellow hull of the Sidereal Horizon. Mina wouldn't let me stay away. I'm glad. Lem smiles again. I wasn't sure if I'd see you up here. Mina turns to you and flashes you a small smile too. You three watch the ship for a while, in the same hushed state as most of the crowd. All the anger seems to have faded out of those who didn't make the crew. Perhaps down in the low end, the timbre is full of angry workers, drunkenly denouncing Celis. But up here, the atmosphere is reflective. Somewhere between a funeral and a ritual. You seem to have a lot on your mind, friend. Lem puts a hand on your shoulder. Want to tell me what's been bothering you? I'm worried about you. Us? He reflexively strokes Mina's head. Don't worry about us. He turns away from the ship to face you. If you think this is the worst we've been through, then you are wrong. Lem puts Mina down beside him. She kicks off, glides to the viewing window, and presses her nose against it. You know, there's been plenty of cycles where I thought Mina would be better off without me. Who am I to decide her life for her, to drag her through? He gestures around the eye. All this. But when I see her smiling, I see her dealing with things, making fun out of nothing. It reminds me that she's the one dragging me through. This is her world now, and who am I to decide it isn't good enough for her? You ever hear of the three-body problem? I'm going to say no, even though Xylox has heard of it. No. It's a physics thing. The idea is that once you have three bodies moving in space, affecting each other, the results cannot be predicted. It's chaos. Lem starts trying to demonstrate with his hands, wheeling them around each other as he speaks. That's how I see us, me, Mina, and, well, you now. We're all bodies in space, and we can't see how that's going to work out for us. But the important thing is we are all affecting each other, right? It's not just one of us, calling the shots, making the decisions, shaping the others. Each one is equal. Pushes and pulls and is pushed and pulled in turn. Oh. Yes, like equals. And maybe there are other bodies too, right? The Eye, Esther a few units down, other kids, other systems, hell, the whole Helian solar system itself. And some of these bodies have bigger forces, bigger effects, but none of them, no one, can totally dictate the movement of the others. So the whole thing keeps spinning and going. In the middle of it is us three, and everything we do has an effect. A real effect in the system on each other. And if we move together, push together, hell, maybe the effect can grow. Maybe chaos can help us. He stops suddenly, noticing how rapid his speech has become. He drops his hands to his side. Well, that's it, he laughs. I understand. Lem nods and turns back to watch Mina as the docking clamps release on the Sidereal Horizon. A tremor goes through the watching crowd, but no one speaks. Mina, suddenly scared, kicks off from the windows and glides back into your arms. She settles there, the lack of gravity meaning you can't feel her weight, only the grip of her small hands on your clothes. Then the Sidereal Horizon leaves, the spectacle of a vast machine doing the job it was built to do, hypnotizing half the crowd into stunned silence. But despite the scale of the endeavor and your part in it, you can't feel proud or even impressed. What you see instead, as Mina clings onto you for comfort, is that same system Lem just described for you. In it, the sidereal and the Sealess Foundation are as vast as a sun around which millions of other bodies orbit. Their scale is terrifying, and the breadth of their influence impossible to conceive. Yet here, in this small nested system of Lem, of Mina, of you, of the eye with its orbits and transits, and the people that are linked to it, those vast forces can be countered. They shift you, yes, and the people around you, but they do not negate the pull of friendship, the orbits of community. As the sidereal moves away from the dock, you think of the bodies on it, those thousands of cryosleepers that, like the person you once were, have given themselves over to that system. You imagine each of them has their reasons, their dreams, their fears, but you worry for them. You worry that they have shackled themselves to something so much bigger than themselves that it would crush them without a thought. The thought makes you bring Mina closer, holding her too, and as you do, Lem puts an arm around you both, and you stand together like that for a while until the bright spots of the sidereal horizon's drives have faded into the dark and it is time to go home. And credits again. Credits for the second time today. But that was very thoughtful. And I think, yeah, I made the right call. I made the right call not going on that ship. It's a mistake. It was a mistake. I don't know if anything's going to blow back from Castor or not, but there he is. A strange choice. Castor stands beside you at the rail, watching the pinpricks of light from the sidereal horizon's drives disappear. But perhaps not unexpected. You turn to look at and Castor's beaming at you with an unsettling warmth. Aren't you angry? About what? He squeezes your shoulder. I only wish for you to exercise that strong drive of yours. If it happens to align with my own, then that is pleasing to me, but if it does not, I cannot punish you. What about the sidereal? Castor looks out to the stars. I'll do my best to follow its progress, he pauses. Sealess itself is more concerned. Sandra Sealess has taken a step back from the public eye. It seems some internal struggles are playing out within their pristine halls. Castor sighs. But I doubt core politics are of much concern to you. Castor moves down along the rail. The eye, though, that seems to be your primary concern, am I right? It is my home. He smiles broadly. Then we are fellow residents. He seems pleased. This place has been a good home for me. Though, like all places, it has its phases. Do not idle here too long, sleeper, unless you wish to be once again caught in the movement of systems much bigger than yourself. Castor turns and starts to clunk away in his mag boots. I will be keeping an eye on you, if you don't mind, sleeper. He waves as he walks. My curiosity remains piqued. Once he leaves, you stay a little longer at the rail watching the stars, thinking about all those people out on the sidereal horizon, drifting towards an unknown future. Alright. So it worked out okay. That's weird. Castor's not mad. He's still there. Lem and Mina's unit? I can hang out with Mina. It gives me energy. Lem and Mina like it when you visit and always make you feel welcome in their little unit, even if Lem's cooking is a little suspect. Oh, that's cute. Cute. Alright, is this ship back? The scrap ship? No, this is the same scrap ship. It is leaving tomorrow. The progress wheel on this ship is bugged sometimes. It doesn't always update. Okay. Alright. So... algae? I need a little more algae? Use a 4 there. I just need one more algae, right? Yeah. You were leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks. Esha hops onto one beside you, flexing her aching back. The refugees like algae. Esha squints at you as if you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have become familiar with. Doesn't matter either way, this is what we've got. She sighs, rubbing the back of her neck. In these past cycles, working the algae stack with Esha, you've had little insight into her mind. She rarely seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you, something like silent trust. Kind that tends to seed itself in the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. It's something I've been meaning to ask. Escher raises her head cautiously. Go on. Why help the flotilla? Escher pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off, then she stops, rethinks, sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erlin's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were ever here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. She flinches, correcting herself. They are a service corp, you understand? They set up outposts and surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the eye around her, like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client. And Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on. Keep the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable. Hold on to our claim. She rubs at her head as if recalling all this was somehow physically painful. Do you know what it's like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory? To shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a... She searches for the word, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave. She clenches her hands. So if you're looking for the answer to why questions, that's your answer. We, Peek and I, know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. The silence extends, and you realize the conversation is over. Escher seems angry, not at you, but with herself for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Escher will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. I mean, I get it, right? Like you're talking to a sleeper. Like, I get it. Look at this body. Look at my body. Okay. Upgrade available? No. We have a point that we can't use on anything yet. Alright, we're close. We're getting close here. I'm going to keep working on the interface action. Okay, we're done. We're done that one too. Okay. Opened up 3 areas. Crew canteen. Good grief. Taking hardline attitudes, loudly arguing in favor of the quarantine, making friends with security, there are ways to deflect suspicion. With division rife among the tug crews, gaining support for a supply shipment will just be a case of picking the right crew and approaching them discreetly. We need a tug escort. A crew willing to escort the Briar through the quarantine will give the ship a better chance of passing the cordon without any trouble. So this reduces suspicion. This makes progress toward getting an escort. We still have a time limit, I think. And then all across the cordon, Havenage security are keeping a close eye on things. Gain their attention and you'll struggle to maintain access. Alright, sabotage sensors. Some careful sabotage to the cordon systems should create a sensor gap that will allow the Briar to bypass the automatic quarantine systems. Creating a blind spot in the cordon's perimeter will give the Briar a better chance of evading detection when Asha makes a run. And the... what is this, the hangar? Slice thrusters. The tugs have a powerful suite of ion thrusters for rapid maneuvering. If you can sneak in and slice some off, you'll have a significant upgrade for the Briar. The kind of thrusters the tugs use will give the Briar improved maneuvering, useful in the cramped quarters of the flotilla. Okay. So now we have 3 more goals to do, and we've got half our time done. I'm going to re-roll this. Did I get anything? Okay. I have a 5. Something with a +1 would be best used. So I guess it doesn't matter. That's interface. I have a +2 to all of these except the deflect suspicion, which I don't need to do yet, so... Start with this one, I guess. You manage to hit the hangar during a shift change and the whole place is empty. You come away with a thruster set with little effort. Alright. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. I mean that both in the sense in-game and out-of-game. That is all the time we have for the stream. So, I'm going to feed that cat, and I'm going to end this cycle. We'll see what we start off with, but we'll come back on Saturday, and it seemed like, I feel like we'll be able to finish this. It feels like we'll be able to finish this on Saturday. Those dice aren't great, but I have a reroll as well. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep. That's what we'll do. Okay, that's the plan for Saturday. Okay, thanks for coming by and hanging out, everyone. It was nice to see some old faces too. Mr. B, KB, appreciate the drop-ins. It's good to see you both. And Smark, of course, thanks for keeping me company. Good luck with your scheduled demolition of your apartment that you live in. Crazy stuff. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope to see you all on Saturday morning. You can also, I'm going to hit that button. There we go. I'm uploading all these videos to YouTube as well. I've got a playlist for this game. You don't need to like subscribe or follow or anything like that. It's just if you guys want to watch my previous playthroughs and get caught up on the story that we took, the story that we've been writing, feel free to go and take a look at that playlist. Otherwise, be good to yourselves and each other. And I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your week, okay? See you on Saturday. Bye, everyone. Night.